want you the other way, we're gonna talk about that. So bear with me if I say some things that you may not agree with up front when we get through the whole presentation. The last time we did this for the public, there were some people that, I got the gun, I'm gonna go out there and take care of this. There's reasons why we don't want you to do that. And we're gonna cover that, and hopefully the time we're done, it'll be very clear. And disaster response psychology. What happens to you when you suffer a severe stress event? How the body reacts to that. What is an active shooter event? We're going to cover how it's defined and what happens, some of the different active shooter events that we've had in this country in the past and how we've got to this point. And civilian response to active shooter events. What you should do if you find yourself in this situation. Columbine. Does everybody in here know what that is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Is it a place?
Yep.
Or is it an event?
Both.
But what do we think of it as? An event. Columbine. Oh, we don't think of the location. We think of what happened that day. It's an event. It changed this country, didn't it? It sure changed law enforcement. It changed the way we respond and we deal with these things. We no longer set up a perimeter and call the SWAT team and handle it as a barricaded person. People were dying that day. A lot of people died that day. And we did what we were trained to do. And it didn't work out real well. Didn't work out for the people in school. Didn't work out for us. We had to find a better way of dealing with it. We worked hard in the last 15, 20 years. Alert here in San Marcos, Texas, Texas State University. We have one of the foremost leaders in active response training right here in Texas. We have federal grant money. It's all done through Texas State University. I just got back from their annual conference where they have an active shooter conference. It's the largest or the only national conference in the country for active shooter events. In the first alert training, when we started teaching officers how to respond to active shooters, we talked about setting up a 5-man team. And we had contact teams and we had rescue teams. The contact teams would go in looking to make contact with the bad guy. Find the shooter, eliminate the threat. We know what that means? Eliminate the threat? Yeah. That's exactly what we're going to do. We are not going in there and take prisoners. We're going to go in there and find the threat and we're going to eliminate the threat. We are on a mission to save lives. They're on a mission to take lives. We're going to stop that. Okay? Well, it takes a while to get people there to form up this team. Okay, you're going to be point, you're going to be rear guard, you are going to be wingers, I'll be in the middle, and then we're going to go in with our team. We're going to mark our entry point, and we'll coordinate all this stuff. What does that do? It takes time. How many people does it take to go address a shooter and deal with him? One. So now we need to change our training. We're not putting a team together. If I get there, I'm the first one there, and there's shooting going on, if you're going to look for me, I'm going to be inside. I'm not waiting for anything. I'm going in there. I'm going to find the bad guy. I'm going to deal with it. It's not going to end well for him. It's going to be a bad day for him. He's going to get what he knew what was coming. And I'm going to make sure he gets it. That's what we do now. So we've changed our tactics. We've changed our training. And we've gotten very good at it. Now we're going to start training you guys to help you survive until we can get there. Columbine happened April 20th, 1999. I'm sure everybody here remembers where you were that day. Now, one thing I didn't say at the beginning of this block of instruction I want to cover. Some of this stuff is graphic. There's some 911 calls in here that happened in Columbine. There's some videos in this presentation that show actual footage of shootings. This is adult material. It's graphic. I will control my language, but I can't control the subject matter. You guys know what this is. So it's not meant for children. We talked about that. If you are of a sensitive nature and this is offensive to you, or for some reason you don't like it, please understand you can step out at any time, but that material is in this video, in this presentation. There is a video that I will not show. It is a reproduction or a reenactment of the Columbine High School shooting. It's a very vivid video. It is based on the real events and 911 calls that came in. It is true to the events that happened, but it is still a reenactment. It's not the real thing. Y'all didn't come here to see a movie tonight, did you? I'm not going to show that just for the effect. I'm going to give you the real sound, the real video, 911 call tape, and some of the real security camera video from the shooting. Now, I'll apologize, me and guys worked on this. The audio is horrible. There's a lot of background noise. It's hard to listen to. The guys will do the best he can with the sound equipment back there to make it where you can understand it. Just bear with us, it's the best we've got. When you're dealing with real 911 audio tape, it's not the highest quality stuff. But I want you guys to hear the chaos, hear the real stuff that goes on when one of these things happen, so you will understand the intensity of the event that you may be found in, okay? At Columbine, there were 13 people killed, 21 wounded. 2 suspects were armed with 2 9mm handguns. 2 shot, I'm sorry, one was a 9mm pistol, the other one was a 9mm carbine, and 2 shotguns. They had 99 IEDs. If you don't know what an IED is, I'll put that in there for you. It's bombs. They had 99 bombs. The shooters here that day, their intention was not to go in and shoot up their high school. Their intention that day was to blow it up. They had lived through the Oklahoma City bombing. That was part of their childhood. And they wanted this event to be bigger than the Oklahoma City bombing. That's what they posted on their internet post. They had a blog. This was back when the internet was brand new. There wasn't a lot of us on there. There wasn't anybody in law enforcement paying attention to the internet. These 2 knuckleheads started doing some online gaming. When that was, I think Doom was a game back then. And they were big into Doom. And they were playing these first shooter games. They were doing it on the internet. They had set up and all the stuff that was going on. And Columbine was one of those high schools that was real cliquish. You know, just like you hear the movies, you know, you got the jocks and the cheerleaders, and you got all these different groups. Columbine was that there was a lot of hazing, there was a lot of bullying going on, and these 2 guys were kind of the misfits, and they didn't fit in that group, and they got picked on about their hair and other stuff. So they kind of became social outcasts, and they buddied up together. One of them had some mental health issues, but the other one did not. There was no documented mental health issues with this guy. But they started posting their intentions. They started getting more and more serious with things that they were accusing of doing there. They were suggesting they were going to do to the high school. They actually went by and videotaped stuff, driving by their high school and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff on YouTube if you want to go look at it. Some of the things that these 2 knuckleheads did. But they wanted to blow the school up. They had a plan, they researched, they built all these bombs. They had propane tank bombs, like the propane tanks on your barbecue grill. They had used those to make bombs out of them that were very, very powerful. The day they went to have the event at the school, they set a propane bomb off in a nearby location behind a fire station and had a timer on it. The bomb actually detonated. And what this was just a diversionary device. They were trying to create a diversion to get the fire department, some of the police people, to respond to this bomb, this fire, so that would distract them so they could go to the school at the same time and start their plan there. They went to the school that morning, after they set the diversion off. They parked in opposite parking lots. They came in 2 different cars. They had all the bombs and stuff there with them. They had propane bombs on timers in their vehicles. They left that for whom? Us, for the first responders, people that knew to be out in that parking lot while the event was going on. They left bombs out there on timers for the cars to blow up while we were dealing with the problem. They took big duffel bags, they walked around the school, came into the cafeteria through a side door that was unsecured. They came into the cafeteria, and they set these things up right by some of the big concrete pillars in the cafeteria. They were mixed in with kids' backpacks and stuff. Nobody saw them. The security cameras kind of had a glitch at that point in time. They were changing tapes or something. Nobody noticed them when they came in. Nobody noticed the backpacks there after they went back out. These propane bombs were also on timers. If they would have detonated properly, there was enough explosive material there to damage the columns to where it would collapse. The second story above them was the library. Now, when these bombs were time to go off, there were 600 kids in that cafeteria. If that roof would have, that ceiling would have collapsed and that library came down on them, it probably killed 600 people that day. The bombs failed to detonate. They meet up outside the cafeteria, and there were already kids, and they come out here and they started shooting more and more. upstairs in the library, and they started shooting the whole thing. So it got ugly in a hurry. What we're gonna hear here is a 911 call tape from, I think the lady's name is Patty. She's in the library, she's one of the teachers. She's upstairs in the library, and one of the shooters comes upstairs and is shooting through the library, the windows, the glass walls there in the library, and shooting a bunch of people. I want you to listen to the chaos that's going on. Now, the 911 operator does a great job, the call taker here does a great job of asking some questions and trying to get her to calm down a little bit and get as much information, where the shooter is, what's the shooter doing, how many shooters are they, do we have a description, do you know who it is? Trying to get her to keep calm. So she does a really good job here. But we've learned some stuff with this, some things that we can do better. So let's listen to this. Like I said, I apologize for the sound quality, but just, it's the best we got.